Hey everyone, this is Robert, and thank you for tuning in to Station Square. I'm just this. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning into the show, and yeah, hope everybody is doing a-okay. It's a nice. I mean, I'm just glad that we're not at a point where I'm just gonna be like, oh my gosh, everything is like so hot and just sweaty and stinky anymore. But now it's
Real.
just, you know, cool and gloomy outside.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, hey, I prefer cold over the heat. I don't know if that's just me, but thank you for, you know, watching the show, and we're just gonna be kicking it back and chilling. And today we have somebody who I've known for, I think it's been like a year-ish or so now. I don't even
Yeah.
remember, but yeah, it just kind of feels to be that long. But this is somebody who has worked in animation. They're doing like a couple of neat little projects that are faith-based. I did say that I was going to do more faith-related episodes. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Melody in the corner.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah,
How's it
nothing
going,
much.
man?
Yeah, nothing much. I guess besides the ceiling, nothing else is up.
That's so real. No, yeah, the weather is finally understanding the assignment right now. Especially in Las Vegas. It's still actually hot right now, but it's getting there.
Oh my
Thanks,
goodness,
Lord.
man.
I just want fall to be here already, man.
Yeah,
Straight up.
yeah, and I'm just like, I just kind of wish that I have like a stuffed. I mean, I do have a creeper that's like
Oh
from
yeah, I got my
Minecraft.
little emotional support doll. His name
Nice,
is Wolfie. Yeah, I
nice.
had my
Yeah.
furry awakening recently, so
Oh my goodness. You know what? I actually haven't done like too many episodes on furry. So
it's
potential
interesting.
podcast future. I don't know, but yeah, I was just saying that I do have like plush animals around me, just for I guess for comfort. But yeah, I guess
Yeah.
we can just kind of just get this started. Just no more of this awkwardness. Let's just get
I'm just
this.
awkward, but yeah,
Yeah, awkwardness is kind of like the best.
just keeping it real. But yeah, I am working on some stuff right now. I have two things going on. I got Glory Hill, which is actually a project that I'm doing to pitch, actually, to be a cartoon. And it is going to technically be an adult cartoon, but I'm going to tone it down and it's going to be just more fun. And I do have like a Christian main character for that. And then I also have Heaven's Defenders, which is about a newbie awkward angel that just got an assignment from God to be a demon exterminator, which is the scariest job of all. And he has to learn how to go down to earth and fight demons. And the problem is his mentor is kind of a bumbling moron. And so he just has to kind of deal with that. And that is actually going to be hopefully an indie web series if it gets to that point. But right now, it's just going to come out as like a test episode and just be an independent project. And I'm just going to let God do his thing with that. Yay.
Yep, amen to that. And yeah, I mean, we've just kind of been, talking a little bit about your project, and then I was also kind of telling Melody that I've also been working on a couple of like, original stuff of my own, including one that is definitely more of like, yeah, there's these animals that are just that became angels because they have to finish the assignments that the Lord has given them, just making amends with them. I mean, it teaches a lot about like, forgiveness and just pretty much stuff that a lot of us kind of had tend to go through with like struggles and tribulations. And this is kind of
Yeah.
like the concept of what I wanted that project to be, but I mean, I'm just kind of somebody that likes to share more information when the project is like, near completion. So it's still in
I
the
feel
early
that.
stages, but I think it's coming along pretty well so far, if I do say so. So
Yay. Yeah, I'm excited. That sounds so awesome.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
So you did mention that you're in Vegas. How's it like over there right now?
Hell on earth pretty much. It's always hot and dry all the time, but living wise, it's all right. Like people think that we live on the strip and thankfully no. I live near the good part of town, so it's fine. But yeah, right now it's cooling down. It's usually late October when it starts to understand the assignment, but it's still like in the 80s and 70s. Like I have to take the bus to work today, and I've had to do it in like 100-degree weather. And I'm just like, thank you, God. Mercy. Straight up, man.
Yeah, because I'm just noticing with Vegas, it's like when it's cold, but when it's hot, it is
Just like
an
gotta
oven,
atone for
man.
your sins every day, man. But
Exactly.
no, it gets really
Yeah.
windy too.
Oh,
But
no, no, no.
yeah.
Yeah, because I do have family that like live in like the valley, and that's pretty much how
Yay.
it is during the summer. And but when
Right.
it's wintertime, it's like, yeah, especially if it's windy, then yeah, expect to see a lot of like, what is it, leaves just everywhere and trees going down, because
I
it
saw
really
a
do
real
have.
tumbleweed one time. I wish I
Yeah,
was
and
making this up. I was
tumbleweeds. Yeah.
straight up, I was walking to work and I saw a tumbleweed and I'm like, oh my God, it's like a Western movie in real life. I was so
No,
excited.
yeah, I've
I was like, oh
seen
my gosh.
tumbleweeds on the freeway.
No, for real. Oh my gosh, dude. But yeah, no, winter is my favorite time and fall. I am one of those white girls that loves Starbucks and stuff. That's definitely me. Like Christian Starbucks Autumn, that's me, straight up.
No, I know how that's like, trust me. But yeah, I would love to know more about like, because I know we've kind of talked before, but what was something that actually got you interested in like, animation or just getting your start?
Oh man. Okay, so backstory time. I've been into animation and cartoons my whole life pretty much. I remember I started drawing when I was like 4 or 5, and then I just kind of never stopped. And I was just always into it. I was making my own little animations on YouTube when I was a teenager, and this was before they had anything like Krita or anything with iPads. So I basically had to scour the internet, find free programs, and honestly, I used like MS Paint and MS Movie Maker, or yeah, Microsoft Movie Maker, and I would hand animate stuff. It's still on my old channel if you guys want to see it. It's really bad. But I've just been doing it forever. And then I just did it freelance online. I have a degree in graphic design from my high school because it was vocational. And then yeah, I just took that and I just did freelance all the way up to now. And now I'm trying to do like stuff on my own. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, indie is the way to go.
It honestly is, it can be freeing, but it is a problem with stuff for like financially. Because I know a lot of people think that indie is the answer to everything, and it can be for your own passion stuff. But yeah, there's not a lot of money in it, and it's actually really hard by yourself. So just for anyone who wants it to be the answer to save everything, just know that you have new different problems and you just have to try to do that and see which one's worth it at that point, you know?
Yeah, because I know that animation right now, these days it can be really tough, especially in an industry that is just
Yeah.
always changing, like just right away. So you just never know when the next job is going to be or when it's going to even stop. I mean, I know we're kind of like, we kind of talk about the recessions or just getting it being in a drought, but yeah, let me tell you, like,
Oh yeah, it's
um,
been bad.
it can be pretty rough. Uh, yeah, it's just so many stories of like people moving out of LA, going back to, their home cities,
Yeah.
and just even working from home can be pretty is tumultuous to say the least, and yeah, it's tough out there. Yeah.
It is. It really is. It's tough out here for a bug, man.
Yeah, this is why I'm so glad that we're getting like, I don't know if you've watched like there was I think there was the Animation Guild did like a meetup or like
Oh
a
yeah.
strike thing. Yeah, and
Yeah,
it
they were
was a
doing a
lot of big
meetup.
names. Yeah, like, Gendy Tartakov. Yes, I'm actually saying his name right. Rebecca Sugar
Yeah.
and so many other big names that are just making a stand of, because there's big projects that are just getting canceled or just getting canned
Right?
left to right. And yeah, so many Disney shows, Warner Brothers. Man, and it's just a lot that is just so many art, actual like people and artists that are just getting screwed over, and it's just more
Yeah.
like business suits just wanting to do whatever they want to do as long as it makes the big bucks.
No, it's actually really sad. I've been keeping up with it. I really wished I could have gone to the strike. Yeah, it was actually the strike, and the people that were there, I'm so happy. I'm so happy there was big people there to actually bring attention because it's getting crazy. It's all just, yeah, like you said, like upper people cutting it for tax reasons, jobs dropping like left and right. A lot of my like I know a lot of like old school animation people on Facebook actually because I still use it sometimes, and they're like, "Whoa, it's never been this bad." One of my friends was lamenting about it, my friend Malcolm, and he was talking about how just heartbreaking it is. And Stephen Silver answered him, which is crazy because I follow him too. And he was saying like, "No, in all my years in the industry, it's never been like this." And the innovation you have to have now to advance your career is super different. And it's just, yeah, it's just crazy. And I hope it gets fixed soon because it's actually not supposed to be like this hard. Like, straight up. It's like not supposed to be this bad.
Yeah, and it's not just an animation too. I know last year we've also had the big Hollywood strike,
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah. Yeah.
yeah, so it doesn't just necessarily apply to animation. It was just a big event that just happened, and now we're on strike for video games. So I'm just gonna give a
Yeah.
not so subtle PSA to
Yeah.
support the video game strike from SAG-AFTRA.
Absolutely. I'm on their side completely. Yeah, video game studios kind of work like animation studios, so I want them to have all the benefits and all that stuff too. It's actually getting insane. The work that they go through too. Gosh, I feel so bad for them. The poor programmers are just out there doing their best right now.
Yeah, and I was also talking with, and it's funny that you mentioned Malcolm because I think that was actually it was you that
Shout
kind of put
out.
me in touch. Yeah, shout out to
He's
Malcolm.
awesome. My
A
friend. Hey.
yeah, and also like Steven Silver. And I talked with folks that have done. They've been working in animation for pretty much like forever. Like I've talked
Yeah.
with big names like Jay Lender. He worked on Hey Arnold, SpongeBob, and
Yeah.
a lot of other projects, Phineas and
So
Ferb,
awesome.
and even the Disney veterans like oh boy, Tom Saito. Yeah, so he's like Tom is a part of the animation guild. I think he's one of the presidents for it. So he was talking a lot about, but I think this is like all before like this big strike happened. So it's
Yeah.
never really been as bad as it is now. I mean, like yeah, you could kind of say that like when you really go back to the old days with I mean, I
You
still
old
remember
thing.
that. Yeah, back in the old days, Walt Disney Studios had that 1941 strike, but it was more so
Yeah.
like, they're standing up against their boss, and it was just a lot of union related stuff that was. And
Yeah.
I still have the book just sitting over here that a friend of mine just gifted to me. So thank you, Jake, if you're watching this. Yeah, it goes about the Disney strike with Art Babbitt and the feud that happened between him and Disney, but
Yeah.
I
That's
just I
crazy.
just didn't think that it would be like a big wide worldwide yeah, pretty much is worldwide
I
at this
know.
point.
It's so
Like as
bad.
it is right now because not just for the big animation studios, but they're streaming the shows that are just getting
Oh,
canned if
yeah.
they yeah, if it does get popular by the second season, you're done.
Sometimes even if it does, it's just like, okay, bye.
Yeah, okay, bye.
So sad.
And it's so sad. And look, I know people kind of dunk on Velma and stuff, but even then, it's just kind of like, yeah, even if your show does get ratings or what have you, it's not gonna be bad. And they're taking away like the shows that we grew up watching, the shows that kind
Tell
of
me about
technically
it.
put them on a map, but you know, it's just the beast of the beast. That's just we're just trying to slay an unpredictable beast. That's pretty much what it is.
Exactly. No, it's actually really, it can be. really heartbreaking, and it's something that there's nothing we can do about it, but we can navigate through it. I actually do have faith that it will come around, but corporate greed is really toxic to the industry, especially. And I just feel bad because animators, especially, are just on that grind and they're the most exploited. And I just see it all the time. They are the most exploited people. They do the most work. Sometimes, especially storyboarders, too. Absolutely. I've been there where they have to wear multiple hats so that the company can save money and then they outsource it anyway. And those poor people are also getting like screwed over essentially. And it's just so sad. But I do have faith that it will come around. I don't know why. Well, maybe it's just because I have Jesus, but I'm trusting it will come around. And the more the union and all those people fight for it, though, the better it will be. I'm just having faith in it. And I do love that stuff like Digital Circus is kind of opening the door to let it where we can have our work independent and still be able to have a bigger reach. That's so encouraging. So that keeps me going for real.
Yeah. Speaking of Digital Circus, like, it's still kind of insane that it's on Netflix now. So,
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Isn't that so cool? And it was number one on Netflix. That's so exciting.
yeah, that is really cool. And I mean, I've known and talked to a couple of the actor. Okay, I'm just gonna go into the voiceover spiel
Yeah,
here, but
do
I've
it.
personally known a couple of the actors that are like, Lizzie, Sean, Chiplock, and there's a Marissa Lenny that I just recently put out, and yeah, it's just so many of these names that are just getting their start in like indie. Like they also got started on, and I think Digital Circus is kind of like an example of just a huge passion project that it's not made out of like out of greed or anything, but it's like something that is just made out of love, which is
Yes, exactly.
incredibly hard to find these days. And a lot of the cast, they got their start doing like the fan projects, which I kind of discussed before, and now look at them. Like I remember listening to
Absolutely.
Kovac on a couple of like Sonic related stuff, and now he's really been blowing up in the indie sphere where he kind of books everything,
Yes,
which is
I'm so on his
insane.
side. He's so
Yeah,
nice. He's so awesome. Yes, I'm so happy for everybody. It's so encouraging. And
yeah,
just seeing things like that, it gives me hope. So anyone out there, if you're feeling hopeless, there's rainbows on the other side. Just keep pressing it
exactly.
in faith.
Yeah,
Absolutely, man. Yay, I'm so
and
happy for them.
indie is just exploding. Like I said, it's not just Digital Circus, but
Yeah.
there's like, let me see, um,
Lumi and the Great Big Galaxy,
yeah,
that's popping
Lumi.
off. So happy
Yeah,
about
that's really
that.
popping off as well. And yeah, the creator is super nice. Let me
Yeah.
see, Lackadaisy, and yeah, there's a lot of big ones out there, and you know, and it's just an example that I'm thinking about. I know there's a couple of others that are coming to my mind, but my brain is just kind of like completely fried. But
Real, the ADHD brain it got me all the time, every day.
bro, yeah, um, neurodivergence, let's go.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah, but it's just kind of yeah, I'm actually looking at like a little drawing over there, and I guess Cuphead is also kind of like I mean, it's more of a
Oh, I
video
miss
game, but it's more
Cuphead. Yeah,
yeah, and then
that
that
like
also became like a
merged.
TV show. It kind of merges into like
I love it.
the Netflix, but yeah, it's just another example of a passion project where it's literally just a love letter to like 30s, 40s animation, and then just
Yeah.
making it into a video game. I mean, there's also Bendy, if anybody. I know
Oh,
there's a lot of people that still
Bendy and the Ink
remembers.
Machine.
Yeah,
That was awesome. It got kind of crazy for a while because fans kept being weird about it, but now it's cool. It's
yeah,
normal now.
yeah. Like FNAF, Undertale, so many different video games that are just made out of love and passion. That is, and it's just
I
really
love
heartwarming to
it.
see them really just become like examples of like, hey, like I know everything's tough right now, but you know what? Like, and it just also comes down to preparation, luck, and just the timing. I mean, I don't think
Yeah,
FNAF
that's
or
true.
Undertale or any of these other games would have really been popped off if they came out at a different time. Especially,
That's true,
I know
actually.
manga's kind of. was a game that came out before 2020, but I think after COVID, it just it was everywhere.
No one had anything else to do. They're good for them though, actually, because it is a cute game. It's actually awesome. I'm so
Yeah,
happy for them.
but
Yay.
yeah, you did say that you talked to a lot of because I don't really use Facebook except for like work and
Yeah,
stuff.
it can be useful. People knock on it,
Exactly,
but
yeah.
a lot of the old school people, yeah, they
Yeah,
use Facebook still.
because
It's
like
awesome.
I can't remember who, but that was actually how I got in touch with. And I'm also a huge fan of Animaniacs. That's actually how I got in touch with
Yes,
Randy Rogel, who wrote a lot of the songs, like Yakko's
that's
World,
exciting.
yeah, Wacko's America, yeah. So that's how I got in touch with Randy, and I think that's is that how I got in touch with Bob? I don't know. Yeah, there's like a lot of
It'd
like
be like that.
yeah, so like a lot of the and funny how you mentioned old school because like
I
that's
mean that in
actually
a,
how
not in a mean way. I mean that in a I love you guys, you're awesome
yeah,
way.
exactly.
'Cause
So
I'm old too. It's all good.
are is there like anybody that you like as far as like not just for animation, but are there do you have like a list of influences or just inspirations in your life? I mean, I know that
Yeah.
Jesus is definitely number one. That's a
Jesus
no-brainer.
number one. Amen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I actually do. So, if anyone asks, my inspirations that I like to usually list would be people like Steven Silver, actually, which is crazy because I
Yeah.
did his like animation class. I actually have exciting stuff about that, but also just people like Lauren. I think you say Lauren Faust or Lauren Foss. I'm never sure,
I think it's
but wait,
Faust, if I'm not mistaken.
Faust.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, her like 100% absolutely. And then just old cartoons, like old 60s, 70s cartoons, like Rocky and Bullwinkle and Wacky
Wow.
Races. Shout out that kind of stuff. Old cartoons like Dexter's Lab, which they're not even that old, but I guess now they kind of are.
I mean,
Old
90s,
Cartoon Network.
yeah.
And yeah, just that kind of stuff. And then later on, my style kind of got more influenced by, Gravity Falls, that era, regular show and that kind of stuff. It's hard to kind of pinpoint. Osmosis Jones, Ed, and Eddie, those had an impact for sure, and it just all kind of blended in, and it's just
Yeah.
awesome. Super epic,
Yeah.
dude.
I think for me, it's definitely got my family and just. I mean, I do have like influences in animation and also for VO. I mean, I don't think I really wouldn't have even started voice acting if it wasn't for people like, Mel Blanc, Looney Tunes, and
Yes, the legends, the
yeah,
goats,
and
if you will.
yeah, the goats, Dawes Butler, Paul Frees, June Foray, those guys, and it's really funny. I'm honestly really glad that you mentioned Rocky and Bullwinkle because
Yeah.
talk about a show that is like, when you're a kid, the art style might be, I consider it to be like a unique art style where it's crude, but it's also kind of very pleasing to look at.
Yeah, it's like organic.
Organic. And
Like I
also,
like Jetsons and
yeah,
stuff like that. I'm talking, by the way, about visual style. As far as animation goes, I could not tell you. I like
yeah.
wacky stuff though. That kind
Yeah,
of
so
stuff.
like Rocky and Bullwinkle, the Hanna-Barbera, is kind of
Yeah.
like those are kind of the earliest ones where I'm just kind of like, hmm. Because I remember seeing a post on like Twitter a while back where for those that are trying to make an indie animation, where I think Hanna-Barbera and Jay Ward, that's yeah, for Rocky and Bullwinkle. Those are kind of like the
Yes.
starting points of like, you can have these really limited animation, but you can still have great characters and great writing to go alongside of it. And in
Yeah.
the case of Rocky and Bullwinkle, it's one of the first shows that I distinctly remember watching where it's like something felt really different about it, where it feels like it's colorful, but the writing feels more like it's catered more to all ages, where the kids can enjoy the characters' antics. But then it also has the writing where, they can it's like a million jokes per second, but yet when you're an adult, you can appreciate the amount of like creativity that they put into it, with
Yes,
the adult jokes.
exactly.
And that's what I loved about, classic Looney Tunes, Tex Avery,
Same.
Animaniacs,
Yes,
that
dude,
stuff.
absolutely.
And I know I mentioned Animaniacs, but I have to say one of my all-time favorites has got to be Batman, the animated series.
Oh, that one's so good. The writing on that show specifically is legendary. Like you cannot top that.
Yeah,
Oh, look at
so
that poster,
yeah,
dude.
look at these.
Freakazoid
Like,
too. Yes.
yeah, a lot of this stuff. Like, I have my closet behind
Freakazoid
me
for the
still somewhere.
humor. Peak,
Oh
dude.
my
It's
gosh,
peak.
yeah. And I did meet a lot of the crew that worked on, like, both Batman and Freakazoid. And for the Batman poster, that was signed by. It was Tom Ruger, yeah, who made, like, Tiny Toons and
Seriously.
Animaniacs.
Oh, I follow him. That's epic,
Yeah,
dude.
it's a shame that I never had it signed by Kevin Conroy, you know?
One day, dude. Don't give up. You never know,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I'm just saying that I never got it signed by Kevin because, unfortunately, yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry. I didn't know. I feel so
Yeah, it
dumb
was,
now.
yeah, he passed too.
Oh, oh,
Yeah.
that's so sad, actually. How did I not
Yeah,
hear about this? Sometimes I just don't focus on stuff.
yeah, no, no, no worries, it's all good. But maybe if I
I'm
see
so
Mark
dumb.
Hamill, I mean, we kind of share the same birthday, who is like also in everything, so maybe one of these days. But yeah, it was. I didn't mean to put it on a downer note,
Oh
jeez,
no,
but
you're okay. I'm just kind of like I can be ditzy sometimes, sorry.
no
I'm so
worries.
dumb sometimes.
But yeah, like the Disney stuff, Gravity Falls is kind of like one of the big
Yeah,
inspirations for the one of the
awesome,
series
man.
that I'm working on. And yeah, I love the Warner Brothers stuff, Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon. That's just my
Oh,
jam. 90s,
all peak.
2000s, kid at heart. So yeah, those are kind of my influences when it comes to, I guess, writing and acting and stuff.
Yeah, dude, absolutely, man. They went so hard on it. Like they didn't have to go that hard, and they did, and it's
No, I
still
mean, like,
inspirational to this
I was
day.
just rewatching Hey Arnold like last
So
night,
good.
and yeah, they really do go deep, man. That's all I can say. And
They
even
do.
with
I
like
love it.
Avatar: The Last Airbender, talking about genocide in a Nickelodeon show,
No,
like,
literally, and war crimes too. The writing on that show is peak. I can
yeah,
only dream of being that good.
I know,
Actually, so
yeah.
amazing.
It's really crazy that Nickelodeon got away with so much, man. Like,
Yeah, I guess it was like under the guise of, oh, it's anime, so it's fine.
it's animation,
It's for
so
teens technically, I guess, but
yeah,
they went hard.
yeah. If there's so many examples I can name in like SpongeBob or Invader Zim or Rocco, I'd probably be here forever.
Same. Literally,
Yeah.
dude.
So I guess with your series, like, what has been like? Oh, actually, before we go into it,
Oh
like,
yeah,
I
no
guess
worries.
this kind of ties into the series that you're doing. So, what's your testimony? I'd love to hear it.
Oh, yes. Okay. So, it's a little boring, but it actually gets epic. I promise. Don't worry about it. But no, I've actually technically been Christian my whole life too. My mom, she is the one that always instilled in me and my sister, like who Jesus is, who God is, always quoting the Bible and reading it to us.
Same.
We did also watch Veggie Tales, but she was very adamant about correcting
Yes.
stuff.
I forgot to
Veggie
mention
Tales for
VeggieTales.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Classic VeggieTales, man.
The humor is my favorite still. And yeah,
Yeah.
she would tell us about it, and then, we would ask stuff like, "Oh, wow, did the people in Nineveh, did they really hit people with fish?" And she would be like, "No." And she would
No,
like
that's
tell us like the
just it's
truth.
just them being silly, I guess, for the
It's like
kids.
they can't go into the serious stuff, but she kind of would, but in a way that we could understand. And then that way I just kind of grew up in that, and I was able, honestly, again, shout out to my mom because she would actually show what she was talking about. Like she would say things like God is merciful and Jesus is compassionate and patient and loving, and she would actually be that way to people. And I was able to actually see what that looked like and feel it. And I just like fell in love with God early on. And I went through a period where I was not very great about that, not good with my relationship with the Lord. I was very hypocritical, especially as a teenager and stuff. But very recently, been through trauma, shout out. So able to focus back on the Lord. And also shout out to my friend Zoe, who very recently actually, explained some stuff to me that opened my eyes about everything. And I've just been like the past 2 weeks recommitting to the Lord and making him number one, because at the end of our life, what's going to matter is if we stand before Jesus and he asks, "What did you do for me?" What are we going to tell him? It's like, "Oh, I went to Disneyland 2,000 times." It's just like, but did that advance my kingdom though? That kind of stuff. So, yeah. So basically, full on recommitting right now. Yay! And that's my testimony right now. So, not crazy, but still kind of, I feel like it's maybe relatable for some people.
No, I get you
What's the truth
because all
though?
my life I've just kind of been like, yeah, I know Jesus, I know God, I got plenty of
Right.
time, and then just doing a lot of the worldly things. Like I know I've got all
Yeah.
these this stuff behind me, but and then I was just kind of going through like a bit of a spiritual warfare, as we
We've
the
all
cool
been there,
kids
man.
say.
Yeah,
Where it's just
that's
kind
so
of like,
real.
okay, I like this stuff, and I think I've been kind of getting a little too obsessed with it, so maybe it's time that I start recommitting to Christ because that is just.
Yeah.
And I literally just did a video on what is really holding you back with your relationship with God, which I'm gonna post on social media like right after this. So it's just kind of like the reason why we often feel like we're falling behind is that we don't really put all of our trust in Jesus. Instead, we just
Yeah.
kind of think more about like, I totally got this. Yeah, I'm just gonna breeze it through and I'm just gonna
The
do my
pride of
thing.
man.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then we kind of often worry about what tomorrow is gonna give, but Matthew 6:34 says, "Do not worry about tomorrow, for today has its own set of troubles." Which,
He's so real for
I
that.
mean, it's just, I mean, dude, the Bible really do
Shout
be
out
spitting
Jesus.
facts, man. Yeah,
No, seriously, it goes hard. Honestly, the
yeah.
Bible's kind of metal sometimes. People don't be
No,
under
yeah.
they don't get it, but it's awesome.
No, what was that one verse where it just talks about? Oh my gosh, it's like it really uses the word fool like just unironically for just the stuff that we kind of tend to focus on, and it's just kind of like, and then sometimes you read that one verse where you're just kind of,
Oh yeah, it's like, oh, I got called out straight up.
yeah, it's just
Yeah,
like,
it pierces between bone and marrow and spirit, and it's actually real, man, for real.
yeah, I
But
just
yeah,
keep thinking,
I feel it.
yeah, it's kind of like, I forgot what show it is, where it's just kind of, oh, you just get shot in the heart and then you just fall dramatically, like in a video game or something.
Oh, absolutely. You take actual physical damage.
Yes,
That's so
yeah,
true. No, that was me recently. The thing that my friend Zoe said was basically I was telling her about some of the stuff I've been through in life, and I'm just like, I felt like a lot of stuff was satanic attacks, and I'm just like, when is God gonna restore everything? And what she said was fire, so I'm just gonna paraphrase it right now, but it
sure.
was basically God loves you too much to let you be comfortable and satisfied in this life. He uses pain to call you to Him and to spend time with Him. Because one of the things that Jesus says to people that don't believe Him is, "I never knew you." And she emphasized knew, and it was like he wants a relationship with you. He wants you to know him and he wants your heart. I was always one of those like, I have to be better. I have to stop cussing. I have to stop lying. I have to stop doing stuff like that. That's bad. And it's like, just spend time with Jesus and you will, it's like they say you are the most like the people you spend the most time with. So it's like, just spend more time with God. And I'm finally understanding that and putting it into practice. And I've kind of put a lot of everything into place for me also, because I used to very much worry about my animation dreams, just like everyone else. One of my friends actually was in such a mentally dark place that he wanted to get himself committed to a hospital because he was one of those people that was like long-term industry giant, and then all of a sudden boom, he can't find work. He worked at Netflix for like a month and then they let him go, and just for no reason. And so he was just dealing with that. And he's not Christian, but I told him, I'm like, well, Jesus loves you and we are praying for you. And I just like once you finally realize that stuff in life just does not matter. Like it's straight up like as much as I love animation and I love my cartoons and I love even the cartoon Heaven's Defenders, that's very biblical based. At the end of the day, it's not going to matter as much as how much time am I spending with God? Am I putting him number one and am I obeying him and advancing the kingdom? Because that's what we're going to be rewarded on and that's what God's going to care about. So just game changer. Just total game changer. And now I'm at peace. I'm like, whatever happens, happens. I'm just letting God do his thing.
Man, that is like you just shared like you're just testifying to the choir, man. I'm just over here just
We're having church right now.
but yeah, we are literally this is like a service right now.
I
Yeah,
love
because a
it.
lot of the stuff that you're saying is so on point because we can love the work, we can love the stuff that we do, but at the end of the day, it's really like because a lot of the negative thoughts, the self-doubt, insecurity, stuff that we kind of go through on a day-to-day basis, like spiritual warfare
Yeah.
of like, yeah, I think the reason why is that like you said, he uses that. And if you're really feeling conflicted about something, maybe that's a sign that you're kind of drifting away from him or you're not
Yeah.
really reading. I mean, it's not even just reading the Bible, but what is something that you're doing is that you're in complete obedience to him? Like, are you
Yeah.
sharing the gospel? Are you reading? Like, what is something that is really speaking out to you? Is there somebody that you're praying for? Who is that person that you wanted to minister to? Something like that, where you can, it's nice to just talk about your passions and the stuff that you have, but is it really something that is, you know, gonna matter in the long run? That's pretty much the bottom line here. Like, I could just say, "Oh, I love this is da 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 da," but at the end of the day, like, it's not. It's cool to have passions and dreams, but you just gotta always put them first. That's pretty
Yeah.
much the bottom line here.
Yeah. He sacrificed his life for us, so now we
Exactly.
sacrifice everything to him.
Yeah.
Just that's hard, but it is worth it. And
Yeah.
yeah, once you start seeing like what God says about you, I think that will also help a lot of people that feel bad about themselves and feeling like they need all these titles. I see it especially in animation and acting and things like that where it's like you can get attention. Um Honestly, just listening to what God says about you will help with that too. It's like, oh, I need this award and oh, I need that award. I'm like, no, you don't. You just need
No.
to what you need Jesus to be proud of you. And then all that just melts away and you find peace and like real peace, peace that only God can give you. It's just beautiful, dude.
Because
It's
like
awesome.
a trophy is just okay. I know that out of all things, like I know it's kind of not really the most kid-friendly show, but BoJack Horseman really goes in depth about how, the
Oh
stuff
yeah.
or the material like winning an award or a trophy is kind of just meaningless at the end of the day, and it does not pull back any
Yeah,
punches.
store up your treasures where the moth and rust won't destroy you. Because at the end of the day, it's just a piece of metal. It's not your salvation. It's like all is well with your soul, is it? You know, it's all well with
Yeah,
your soul, man. I
yeah,
think about that all the time now.
it
That's why I'm
really.
putting Heaven's Defenders first. Actually, I was gonna do Glory Hill first, but I'm like, you know what? I'll try to pitch that one and see if people like it. I feel like Heaven's Defenders is more important because it's gonna be just Jesus all over the place. Let's go! Yay!
Yes, hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Praise Lord.
Yeah.
I love
Um,
it.
we'll continue this in part two, but if you're enjoying this so far, leave a
Thank
like
you.
and comment, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff. But yeah,
Jesus loves
like
you.
yes,
Yeah.
Jesus. And until then, I guess I'll see you in part two coming shortly. And yeah, God bless.
God
All
bless.
right, I'll see you in a little bit. Bye. Yeah, so we're just kind of on fire for the Lord as it's not blatantly obvious. So, yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Sorry.
Oh
I'm
no,
just
you're
kind of stumbling
good.
my words, but today we're just going to be talking more about like your own stuff. So before we get into it, I just wanted to give a shout out to my good friend Future Esther, who also has like a YouTube channel for talking about the Bible and preaching the word of Jesus. So if you want to give her a follow, just definitely do it. Just want to give my fellow brothers and sisters of Christ just a shout out, and to
Yeah.
everybody that is just doing the Lord's work, thank you so much, and leading others to the truth and knowing how God is really just so good all the time, and why he will never leave us nor forsake us, instead of just focusing on
Nailed it.
the worldly materials, thinking that because it really is just a temporary, just but he is eternal, you know.
Amen. Yeah, this will be over in like a flash.
Yeah,
Think about it,
temporary,
guys.
but heaven heaven is real. So that's all I'm gonna say, just like the movie. So
Yeah, just like the movie, dude. Absolutely, man.
yeah, oh my gosh, I kind of wanted to talk about like the movies and other media, but before we get into that, so we were just talking a little bit about how you came to know Christ and just really getting having a closer relationship with him. How much would you say that it has really, I mean, I shouldn't really say how much, but that was kind of like the big, sort of, background, or like just the big inspiration for that led you to making, Heaven's Defenders and, the other projects that you do. So, yeah, share a little bit about I guess, the genesis, see what I did there, about,
Yes.
Heaven's Defenders and your other stuff.
Yeah, so this is what's crazy. I got the idea for Heaven's Defenders from a dream, and it was a really funny dream.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Isn't that the
literally.
best?
I get my best ideas from dreams, like Louis and
Yeah.
the Love Machine, my little funny comic. Safe for Work, by the way, guys. I got that from a dream too. It's really funny. But yeah, I had a dream that I was in heaven, but heaven had a DMV, which, oh, thank the Lord that's not real, because otherwise that's hell. But not kidding. But it had a DMV, and it was all angels lining up, and they were actually getting their jobs from like that way. And there was a young angel boy that was getting, well, not like a boy, but like college age type thing, where he got his job as demon exterminator. And the whole dream, I mean, weird dream stuff happened in between, but he was just, oh my God, like freaking out. Oh my goodness, I'm stressed, I can't do this, trying to get a different job. Apparently angels in the dream, they got work orders, and prayers were the work orders, which I just remembered strongly. I'm like, ooh, that's awesome. And then other stuff happened, and then I woke up and I was like, that was a cool dream. I'm gonna write it down. I wrote a Facebook post about it because I use Facebook sometimes as just like a private journal sometimes because no one goes on it, so why not? And I was like, yeah, you guys, this is a really cool dream. Oh man, it would make such a funny cartoon. But then I was like, nah, because I'm like, it's just like I thought it was just a throwaway dream. And you know, the sad part is my now ex-friend for of almost 17 years. Rest in peace, even though you're alive. But she was all like, "You need to make this real. You need to make this an actual cartoon." And I was like, "Okay." And so then I started actually working on it, and now I'm making it. So there we go. Very cool, man.
Yeah. And also, boy, man, if I hadn't known, if I could tell you the amount of experiences I've had friends for a long time, and then we just kind of drifted apart, I would
It's
probably
sad. You
have
know,
like
it's really sad.
four nickels at this point.
Oh yeah. I have lost a lot of friends actually.
Yeah.
And you know, they always say, "Oh, if you lose a lot of friends, you're the problem." But the problem was never actually my personality. Hopefully, I mean, maybe because we all go through stuff. I'm not perfect, but it was
Yeah. None of
always
us
the
are.
thing. The deal breaker was always my relationship with God. It's always the
N-
Christian stuff that made. They're like, you know what? I had like so many friends. They're like, I used to be Christian. I'm denouncing it now, and I'm so sorry for you that you still believe in that. And then they leave, and I'm like, that's funny because God said if you left us, then you were never for us. And it's just heartbreaking, actually. I always pray for them. I pray for forgiveness. I pray for their soul because my most recent ex-friend fell deep into witchcraft, said that, oh, I tell people that they deserve to go to hell, so we can never be friends. I'm like, but we all deserve to go to hell. That's why we got Jesus. That's the good news. But yeah, lost them as a friend, but I still remember what they told me. So they said go for it. So I guess shout out, I'm going for it for my cartoon. So, and you know the funny part is what I think why I think maybe God wants me to do this first is because I was working on stuff for my other idea, Glory Hill, which is about a turnip girl and a goat dude who are kind of like a found family, found sibling kind of situation who are the weirdos of town. They're kind of like the town menaces, and Glory Hill is a fictional town set in North Carolina, and the whole series it's going to be about their shenanigans and all this stuff where you kind of find out that they're kind of broken and find they just find healing at by the end of the series. It's gonna like kind of spoiler, but not really. It's gonna be more funny and more goofy. And I was working on that for a very long time, and I didn't get very much far at all. And then for the Heaven's Defenders idea, I had that gosh, early last year, something like really recently. And now I'm already about to like finish the script and I already got a voice actor. Shout out Portillo.
My
I almost said his name
boy.
wrong. No, I asked him too. I was like, how do you say your last name? But no, he's amazing. Already got him as Dennis. And I'm already like working on it. So that just took off like super fast. So I'm just like, okay, God, I see you. I'll do this first. Very fun.
Yeah. And it's just kind of, I know there's gonna be like this episode. I'm not really entirely self-conscious, but it's like somebody will watch this and it's just, oh, it's an episode where they talk Jesus or, well, I mean, hey, if
The only
I
thing that
always say
matters,
like
dude.
if people have a problem with us, just preaching the gospel or just praising God, then they could just
We're gonna
there's
just
other
pray for
content that they could just
Yeah, we're gonna pray for you
watch.
guys harder than, but we
Yeah, we'll
planted
pray
the
for you
seed,
guys.
so
You could just watch, I don't know, like TikTok. That's any of the
TikTok cringe compilations.
cringe compilation. Look, you could just watch that instead. That's all I can say.
I love that.
Yeah,
Kristen cri
but
TikTok cringe compilation where there's like a Christian clip in there and people laugh at it, but now you guys got the gospel though. So who's the real winner now?
yeah, so I mean, hey, if you don't like this, then maybe TikTok can be something that you can find some value in. I don't know. Like you
I love it, man.
yeah. But I mean, we're just kind of joking around maybe. But no, it's just kind of like really cool that your cartoon is just also based on reality. Mine's that, and I think I've also kind of shared that one with you, where it's just kind of like, these animals, the angels just wanting to just coming down from heaven and then just helping people
Yeah,
just overcome their struggles. Like,
I love
I mean,
that.
specifically with the main character, just struggling with the act of forgiveness, which
It's hard.
definitely something that is come from personal experience. And you want to know what it was also partially based on?
What?
Okay, there's the Tom and Jerry cartoon where Tom, yeah,
Oh, where Tom
yeah,
goes to hell? Is that the one?
yeah, like
Yes,
yeah, where he
dude.
goes into heaven and then he wants Jerry to sign it. So it's
Oh, I
also
love
kind of,
that.
yeah, it's kind of based on that, but it's also coming from like real experience of like, oh, yeah, just forgiving somebody. And that just kind of really stood out to me as a kid, where it's like, they may be quote unquote frenemies. I don't even know.
They're totally friends. Tom just fakes it so Jerry won't die. It's been confirmed.
Yeah, it's kind of like what Sylvester, Tweety, the Coyote Roadrunner, like what even Bugs and
Yeah,
Daffy.
I love that.
I don't know what that dynamic is called, but yeah, it's
Definitely frenemies. Dude, Tom and Jerry was my
frenemies.
favorite. One of my
Yeah,
favorites
Tom and
growing
Jerry.
up.
So that was kind of like partially based on that little cartoon, which is
Yes.
messed up because there is literally. I mean, it's not even the fact that Tom actually did go to hell. There was like literally one scene where the scene with the kitty, the three little kittens. Oh my
Gosh,
god.
no, that was so sad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
even by Tom and Jerry standards, I was like,
this
then
is getting
it
real
didn't really
now.
click with me until I got older, and I was like, oh my god.
No, right? It's like, no.
Yeah, like I said, these old cartoons, you know how I was
They're
talking
so
about like,
influential.
yeah, but at the same time, they kind of played those shorts like in theaters, so it's not like it was they made them for like all ages, but sometimes they can throw in some stuff that is just kind of like you definitely will not that will just fly over your head until you're much older, and it's just kind
I
of
feel like
like
they weren't that sensitive then either, or at least like they
exactly.
weren't
But
that aware.
nowadays it's just kind of oh, they have characters that are just like we don't need this relationship in here, just cut it out, man.
No.
It's sad,
Yeah,
but
but no, that what was your animal cartoon called?
I don't know if I can say the
Oh, it's
name, but
untitled
it's
yet?
something
Okay.
like Dust Bunny because haha pine.
Oh yeah, okay. I love that, dude.
Yeah, but it's a work in progress.
I
So
feel
that's kind
that.
of where it's kind of based on where I just love it where people can just have a dream and then just make something out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the American Dream, man.
Yeah, the American dream. But I did talk about movies earlier. So what is I gotta ask this. What is something like a I mean specifically it could be Christian related, but what are just like movies or just media that you've kind of watched that also
Oh
left
yeah.
like an impact on you?
Oh man. Now this is gonna be a huge one because I am a movie buff myself. Got into screenwriting specifically because of that stuff. But I want to say for animated movies, definitely Lilo and Stitch. Shout out Chris Sanders, he's amazing. A lot of old stuff. Pinocchio was one of the ones that made me want to get into like
Oh
animated movies and
yeah,
stuff.
that one too, man.
It's just so
Boy.
classic. It's so like quintessential Disney stuff. Oh man, I'm trying to like think because I
People
have
remember like how much trauma it gave them, but the original novel was dude, a lot of the
I've
movies
never
that
read
Disney
it.
has made, it's like the original stuff it was based on was even darker than
Oh yeah. I
else.
like the Disney version of a lot of stuff. Hunchback of Notre Dame, unironically, one of the best movies ever.
Oh
It's
man.
so good. It's so good,
Man,
man.
that's boy. That is an
That script
interesting
must have
one to
gone
watch when
hard.
you're really boy, especially when you watch it as a follower of Jesus and it's like, oh
Yeah,
yeah,
and
no, people like
really
Frollo
good.
really do
They exist.
yeah.
That's the thing. They're like, I think
Like,
a
yeah,
lot
you
of
can have like, your sea witches or like, I don't
like
know,
Ariel and stuff.
Ariel.
No,
Yeah,
Frollo was a real bad guy because people
he
like
is a
him
real one.
existed. A lot of people who are very much like anti-Christians and stuff think that oh, Frollo is such a good commentary on the church. I'm like, I would argue Frollo is a very good commentary on a lot of the hypocrites that are in the church. And so
No,
as a
yeah,
Christian, I'm like, nah, he's real and
straight
he's
up.
scary.
No, that
Call him out,
Frollo is pretty
sis.
much on point, man.
It's actually sad. Like that, dude. That movie's so good for so many reasons. Though the whole thing where it's like Frollo's like, "Oh, I'm so righteous," and I'm like, "Ooh, proud much?" Boom, sinning. There you go.
Oh
Oppressing
my
God's
goodness, the
people. It doesn't matter
pride.
if they're actually professing Christians. You're oppressing people as a follower of God. You doing that? Okay, nah. A plus movie. Very epic. And
Yeah.
then let me see live action because I do like live action a lot too. I study it a lot actually. I really also love the original Beetlejuice. Also saw the sequel too. Very awesome. I
That's an
like old
interesting one.
classic movies or
Yeah.
old, when they still tried harder. Uh, let's see, Jurassic Park. Me and my sister love that movie. It's so good. Man, so like just so many like older stuff like that where it's just like very creative. I feel like movie, like filmmaking, is very much an art, and I like older films because they kind of just put effort into it. It's really
Yeah.
good.
They I really don't want to sound like a boomer, but
No, it's all good.
we just don't really know. We just took advantage of just how good we kind of had it when we were
We had it so
kids.
good, we never knew. It's such a
Yeah,
bummer.
it's just kind of like they and this might be a speculation, but I think after we started getting like the Star Wars and the Marvel, once we started entering that era, it just kind of feel
Yeah.
like, yeah, I think whatever's a hit right now, we just gotta follow in his footsteps
Oh
and
yeah, I
just
think
play it safe.
yeah, the
Yeah,
movie industry is suffering the same way,
as
not
the
in the same
animation,
exact
yeah,
way as animation, but they're just shelling stuff out for money. It's all very money based, which is why everything's like
yeah,
CGI and also rushed, which is very sad for the
yeah.
CGI artists who want to give it their all and they're being abused also. So hope they get their union
Oof.
going.
Oh my gosh,
But
yeah,
yeah,
like
I love movies though, man.
I just
So
like,
good.
yeah. I haven't seen it, but there's the new DreamWorks movie, like the Wild Robot something.
Yeah, Chris Sanders directed it. I
Yeah,
have
and
not
going
seen
back to
it
Chris
yet.
Sanders, yeah, like I said, so I just like stuff that is like more original because like the sequels, they do make the money, but they also have toxic working environments. It's not even an
So
open secret.
sad.
There's like articles that
It's
have,
literally just out there. They
yeah,
don't
it's out
even,
there right
yeah, they
now.
don't even front.
Yeah, just up
But yeah,
front, and
so many good
it's
stuff.
so heartbreaking, man. And I'm just like, boy, y'all just need a
So many good stuff
savior.
made by people in shackles. It's so sad. They're just on
Yeah,
that grind.
exactly. And just your daily heads up, AI is not gonna cut it. No matter how much
I
you
hate
say there's the
AI.
cheaper
It's
way.
literally evil. It's literally evil, and I see it everywhere. It
Yeah,
makes me so mad.
I,
I got
man,
tricked by it before too. That video of
dude,
the lady
yeah,
holding the owl, I thought that was real. I'm like, ain't no way. And then it was
yeah,
AI. I'm like, oh, you're so
because of course it is. Yeah, so many friends of mine have also been fighting to have their artificially synthesized voices get removed from projects and
Oh
stuff,
my
and it is
gosh,
so
that's such a
scary.
problem going on. I can't
Yeah,
believe that actually. That's so sad. It makes me so mad. It makes me
yeah.
angry. I want AI to just stop. Just stop right now.
I mean, I don't think it's gonna stop. I mean, it's still.
I know.
I really don't want to admit
Wishful
it, but
thinking.
AI is still like it's a technology that's gonna continue to grow and advance. But as long as we're fighting against it, you know,
Yeah, we just need to put shackles on it, the way kind of like the way they're doing to us animators, put it back on the technology, but it
yeah,
needs to be reined in because the sad part is AI is just kind of it should just be a tool. I remember seeing stuff where AI was used to help detect early signs of like cancer screenings. I'm like, let's just keep it to that. Let's just use AI
yeah.
for like good
Let's just
innocuous
find a
stuff.
cure to cancer instead of
Yes,
like,
absolutely.
yeah, doing a lot
But
of
yeah,
this
I'm
other
trying to
stuff,
think like
man.
I'm trying to think like what other movies I like. Because I feel like I only listed like a few, but I like so many. It's a problem where I can't think how many. More like recent than like Jurassic Park. I actually really like House Bunny, believe it or not. It's one of my favorite funny live action movies. Also, Idiocracy, very great. Those ones have like strong scripts and stuff like that. I just like strong scripts in movies because it just makes a
Same.
difference.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I kind of like a lot of the movies you mentioned, but the recent one that I just watched was The Forge, which is also a Christian movie. So if
Oh
you want to
my
check it out,
gosh, yeah.
definitely do.
I have to check that out. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yo, God's
it's
Not
worth it.
Dead though. I saw that in theaters.
I
Game
was a
changer. I think
oh
of that movie a
dude,
lot.
yeah, that man, that was a while back, but it's still, I mean,
It hits
it's kind of a
hard, bro.
classic. Yeah,
It's so good, man.
yeah, and it's also kind of like sort of a little polarizing, but you know what? That's the same as like, if you're making a movie that preaches about, that has Jesus front and center. Like it's not gonna reach
Yeah.
everybody. It's just flat out.
Yeah. It had good core concepts that they nailed. They just like nailed it. So that was a very strong movie. I have to go back and watch it,
Yeah.
honestly. But yeah, just so many movies like that, just stuff that inspired me. A lot of more animation than live action, but I do appreciate obviously live action because it matters, man. I love the history of filmmaking. When I was in Burbank, I went to the Academy Museum.
Oh my
It was amazing,
goodness.
dude. I got to see all the props in real life. Oh,
Yeah.
Goodfellas, love that. Saw stuff for that. That was so good.
Oh,
I love
Goodfellas.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good, man.
Yeah, the props for Goodfellas. And yeah, that's definitely a movie that is pretty much is for adults, but you know what? The props that they have is like amazing.
Oh yeah, man. And then what was the other movie that was kind of I mean, they had a lot. They had my favorite thing is they had scripts laid out in glass containers
You
that
mean
you can just
like
look at.
the
I have so many
the
pictures.
you mean like the original scripts that they used for the
Yeah,
movie?
for the movies, for like a lot of they had Boys in the Hood. They had those scripts. Me
What?
and my mom were in that section for so long because it was so just incredible seeing it with your own eyes, man. It was
Okay.
awesome.
Okay, one of my all-time favorites is Back to the Future. And
Yep, they had stuff for that too. Oh, I
Yeah,
love
so
Back
a
to
lot
the
of the
Future.
Spielberg, Robert Zemeckis, yeah. So I've
Yeah.
been doing a lot of research about, Back to the Future, Jurassic Park. Like recently, and here comes the Wikipedia on me.
Yeah,
But
I love that.
for Jurassic Park, it was in a four-way bidding. Like there were like other filmmakers that were considered for it. Like one of them was
Oh,
Tim Burton,
really?
another was Joe Dante, and the third was, ooh, his name is blanking me. But
You're
eventually
good.
it did go to Spielberg. So I think we all know that.
I'm glad
Yeah,
actually. Yo,
I'm
I love
really
Back to the Future. I saw the whole trilogy with my mom because we watch movies together all the time. One sitting, whole trilogy, could not stop. It was so
Oh,
addicting.
dude, I think
So good.
that's the only way you can watch Back to the Future.
Seriously.
And I'm just so glad that it didn't suffer like I call it the fourth curse, where whenever there's a
Oh, once
fourth
it's the
movie
fourth, it
coming.
starts sucking like really bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Like recently with Despicable Me. Ugh.
Honestly, they kind of dropped after the sequel, not gonna lie. It's
Yeah,
all right though,
but it's like
subjective.
no, it's either three or four that's when it. Yeah,
Except for Shrek. Shrek is the outlier and should not be counted. I love Shrek so much, man. Oh, you know what's funny is I had the Shrek DVD when I was little, and they had the
dude, I
behind the
had the
scenes.
VHSs. That's if we want to talk
Oh,
about
yeah,
how
we
90s
had
2000s
those
I am.
too.
Yeah,
Yes, we had those too. I just remember the behind the scenes where a guy was storyboarding out one of the sequences, and I didn't even know that was a thing you could do where you could draw out the movie before making it because I didn't know anything about that. That's what got me into storyboarding. I was 7. I recreated the storyboards. This is how insane I am. Very on the spectrum, but I recreated the storyboards, put it on my wall, and recreated his storyboard reading for my mom and my sister when I was like 7 or 8. Yep, there you go. Now here I am. It's very cool. It's very cool. I just
you want
remembered
to.
that now. Oh my gosh, that's fun.
The crazy thing is, back when we used to have the Blockbuster and Hollywood Video and
Shout
everything.
out.
Yeah, we had those. Yeah, this was back when you had to buy those old like VHSs of like shows that were still out at the time.
Oh,
And
that's so
I also
awesome. I
remember
remember.
like I don't know if they had like N64 or PlayStation. Yeah, it was. This was like back in the days where they were selling like,
Yeah,
like the
the old
classic
days.
retro. Yeah. So I was kind of
Exactly.
um yeah, so I would just see the movies and then at the end of it there was like the behind the scenes, and then I was
Yeah.
actually kind of silly enough to think that like, oh, did they just do it first and then like I didn't know that they had storyboards. Like, how does that work,
Right.
so I didn't know that you had to do all of that because I just thought that they kind of just did it all by computer or whatever.
Right.
But no,
Yeah. It's
like they had the like
interesting.
original storyboards that were drawn by
That's so
hand,
awesome,
2D.
man.
So that was really cool. That got me learning more about animation and stuff.
Yes, dude, no, it's actually awesome. Things like that that kind of lifted the veil. Because when I was little, I just thought cartoons were real, and that TV was
Yeah,
just showing
before
us their
we
lives.
yeah, and then we kind of got behind the scenes features, and then I was just like,
I was
"Oh,
just
that's
like,
so cool," but you ruined the
no, yeah, it's like the that cat, like the huh, like that cat.
like
That was me, just huh. Like you
yeah,
can
like
make that?
huh?
What? Same thing with like VeggieTales, one of their 2D animated movies. Shout out Tom and Tony Bancroft, by the way. But
Oh
I remember
yeah,
there was
yeah.
like a featurette, I think it was him or one of the other character designers drawing the villain, and I was like, whoa. I like recreated it. I remember my mom like, "Oh, what's your drawing, honey?" I'm like, "It's not done." Just like
It's
trying
not
to draw it.
finished.
It was so awesome, man. Just stuff like that.
Yeah,
Stuff like that had the biggest impact, and that's what made me kind of want to keep making cartoons. And then once I was like 13 and I realized, oh my gosh, I can make my own cartoons on the computer. Okay. Now here I am, man. So cool.
yeah,
Love
pretty
it.
dope. Yeah, I think it was watching those behind the scenes stuff where I'm just, oh, and I think I'm also being reminded that Walt Disney actually didn't credit voice actors before because I think he was also kind of
Yeah.
like, but
Such a
I
bummer.
understood from his perspective, but it's just kind of like, he didn't want to break the illusion of the characters. And like, yeah, so these are the dwarves and this is Snow White and they're not being played by anybody. These are like living characters that
It's
are
like,
on
man,
it.
that's just his excuse. Like, I love Walt Disney and respect what he did, but he was not perfect. People who come out,
Yeah,
they're like, actually, he was shady. I'm like, he was human. And
he
yes, he
was
was shady
human,
though.
but
It's
yeah,
like,
it was
I
also
don't think he had Jesus, no
politics.
offense. So sad. But no, it was like that.
Yeah, and
Sorry
also
for interrupting.
his politics, which is no
It
secret.
is. It is politics. Absolutely. Pardon
Yeah,
my words, but yeah, absolutely, man.
but no, I think by the time they started crediting voice actors, I mean, we wouldn't have known Mount Blanc if they never gave him, screen credit
Thank
for all
the
those
Lord.
Looney Tunes shorts. Like, if you watch a cartoon, voice characterization Mount Blanc, it's like, oh, so he did all of them? Uh, most
Oh,
of the
they didn't do
cartoons he
everybody.
did,
Oh man.
almost everyone. Elmer Fudd was another actor, and his name also kind of escapes me. Crap. Arthur
That's their fault.
Arthur
They
C.
didn't
Bryan.
credit him enough.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. So, yeah, but not all of them. He didn't really do every voice. I mean, like, obviously the female, like it's either June Foray or somebody else doing like the other voices, but or it's just, sometimes they'll just get Mel to do a female because it's funny.
no, that's so true.
Yeah, or
Man.
yeah, just because he's already in the studio, so might as well. Which is kind of what happens most of the time.
That does happen.
Like if you're in a session, if you book an actor for something, and then you're like, "Hey, can you also do this one line or two as a character?" That's usually what happens.
Yeah,
If
I
they're already
love
booked for the
hearing
day.
that. Whenever I'm watching, like when I was watching Kim Possible one time, I
Oh
heard
my
straight up
gosh,
that
yeah.
for oh, I forgot to list that in my inspirations, but yeah, art style. I mean, I guess I did because
Steven
Steven
Silver once
Silver.
again. Yeah.
Yeah, and so good. I just remember the Hulk Hogan parody type villain character. I could totally hear it was just the guy who did Dr. Draken just doing a different
Oh,
accent and stuff. I loved it
uh,
though. I love
John
hearing that stuff.
DeMay. It was John DiMaggio or something.
I forgot his name, yeah.
Yeah, it
That's
was.
on me though.
Yeah.
Yes, it's so exciting. I love that.
Yeah,
Yay, I
like
love
dude,
it.
that speaking of Steven Silver, like I'll I kind of forgot to mention Danny Phantom, That was kind of another
Oh
show that I
man.
used to watch when I was younger.
Yeah,
Not so
same.
much anymore, but I mean I'm probably go back to it every now and then, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I
I
was
just kind of like
obsessed
the
too.
wacky, silly stuff. That's just me.
Yeah, no, Danny Phantom
I
was
was kind of
actually
more
really
into
good.
Fairly Odd Parents, but I think Danny Phantom is also
Same.
another one that was just kind of like, yeah, I think it's a show where if you're at a certain age, I mean, it's for all ages, but I think when it resonates with you, the older you get,
Yeah, the
because
older
high
you get, it's
school,
more
yeah,
interesting and more
bec-
relatable. I
yeah,
still loved it then too.
yeah, because you're going into like middle high school, and then you're trying to figure out what you're doing with life. Same with Rocco,
Yeah.
where you're living on your own, and then you're trying to figure out life in general. That's why it's called
True.
modern life in the 90s, but
90s
it can
modern.
still very much apply today. I'm just saying, that's how time is.
You know, they could re-release it today, and I bet you
And they
people would.
literally,
They
yeah,
remade it kind of, but I'm like, just re-release it the way it was, and it would still resonate. I bet 100%. It was
boy.
really
And then
good.
20 years or so later, it would just be like something that we did in like the 2020s would just be even more relevant in like
Oh,
in
they
a
should have
decade
just
or so.
re-released it for stream. People would be blowing it up. I'm telling you, man.
Mm,
Oh man.
I don't know with
I
the
used to
state
think
of
he was a
the
dog when I was younger, then I found out he's not.
same. He's an Australian wallaby or something. I don't know.
It's like
Ah,
that word escaped me when I was like younger. I'm just like the cat again. I'm like, huh?
what was I? I was like, huh? I
Straight
forgot where
Italian.
it originated from. I think it was watching that video where the person was like, "Huh?"
I love it. But
Yeah,
yeah, shout
I
out
just
Steven
have that
Silver.
weird
He's
sense.
awesome.
Yeah, that here I just have a weird sense of humor. So
Same. I love weird. I like weird, funny stuff. Just very goofy, off the wall type stuff.
yeah,
Goofy humor was always my favorite. That's why I really also liked Lilo and Stitch the series a lot, actually, because
I don't think I've watched
it's really
it.
funny.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was my bread and butter. That and like Hamtaro when I was younger.
Oh my gosh, dude! I don't hear too many people talk about Hamtaro.
We love you, Hamtaro. Never forget the the legend. But yeah, no, like Chris Sanders is funny actually, especially when you watch Lilo and Stitch and then the cartoon. His You can just very recognize whenever something you can just tell he wrote it. because it's just actually
Yeah.
hilarious and weird
Did
and
he
just perfect.
did
Just
he
me.
also voice Stitch himself?
Yeah, he voiced Stitch himself in the series too. So in the movie and series, like a goat,
Oh,
we love
okay.
him.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really cool. I like seeing when people voice
It's
act in
always
their own
interesting,
stuff.
yeah, when you see creators and then you just see them voice act a character. Like if a writer is the predominant writer is writing for like, a major character, you could kind of tell that it's their own unique individual voice. It's kind of like
Yeah.
on SpongeBob for Plankton, like Mr. Lawrence, he's a writer, storyboard, and he also voices a lot of the characters, but it's very much
I love
his.
it.
Yeah, you can just very much tell that it is definitely his voice and definitely his unique style. Like I just love seeing that
Yes, I
where
love
writers
that.
can just
See,
blend
I
their own
love
style,
writing. I'm getting more into screenwriting. I've been doing the write for animation thing. And it's actually really epic.
especially if they have a stand-up background too. It's just
Yeah.
great up.
Honestly, if you guys want to look into like write for animation, I'm in the course right now and it's been like a game changer. It's like straight up. I just love writing and I love books. I've always been an avid reader. And I think that's like what fuels my love for movies too, because it's basically just a story. You can just watch it. It's so exciting, man. I love it.
Yeah. Oh boy. I'm thinking that we should probably do like a. I keep saying we can do a follow up in the future for like my guests, but
Oh
there's
yeah,
just
no
so much
worries.
that is just we could just talk about all day, but still,
I
man,
feel
with the
it.
time that we have, it's just
Yeah, I know. But yeah, I'm just excited. There's just so much going on too. I feel bad because I had to like reschedule and everything because I have so much going on. But
no
yeah,
worries. Yeah.
I did the as far as classes too, I did the Steven Silver Drawing Academy for character design. And actually I was able to qualify for a table, like a free art table here in Vegas actually. Next, oh my gosh, next month. Next
Noise.
month, I'm gonna sell all my stuff, sell art and ears. I'm making my own cat ears because I'm furry kind of now. And I'm gonna talk about Heaven's Defenders with people in real life there. So wish me luck, man. It's gonna be cool. And I'm gonna get to meet Steven Silver. I'm actually so excited. I'm gonna meet
I
one of my art inspirations. I'm gonna be so annoying. I'm gonna be like, yeah, your art is everything to me, but it's no big deal. I'm excited, man.
I've met Silver a couple of times before, and he's just the
Yeah.
the most chill, the nicest fellow.
I could just tell, yeah, he's so nice. He is so nice, and it's so funny that that Rob Pratt he's a Disney animator. So crazy that he knows him, and cause I'm like bragging right now. Sorry, I was like I hung out with him when I was in California, and when the minute he mentioned Steven, I was shook, and he started mimicking his accent and stuff. I was like, yes, absolutely, that is so him. It's so funny how they know each other. I love it. It makes me happy.
Yeah.
Yay.
But congrats on, getting that art table and, just getting to
Thanks.
do that free one. Like
I'm excited.
that is really cool.
Yay, thank you, friend. I'm really excited. I've never tabled before because I could never afford it, and now I can do it.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah. And in the midst of like animation and spending time with the Lord, like it's like whatever hobbies or anything that we do is just kind of what else can we pick up with the gifts and skills that we already have? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's so real, man. Yeah, honestly, I've
Yeah,
been thanking God for every opportunity because
exactly.
I feel like I don't deserve it,
The
but that's just
gratefulness,
like
the gratitude,
imposter
man. That's
syndrome.
what it is. Yeah.
But it's like everything I'm just like, thank you, God, because these opportunities are from you. So just gonna give it back to him. And try not to
Yeah.
let any of the things I do get in the way of spending time with him, though, because that's the only thing that
Yeah.
matters, really. Yay.
Oh, yeah.
So
It's
real,
finding
man.
that balance, man.
It's all about finding that balance.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, we can talk about like, the challenges or the struggles of doing this, animation or just pretty much anything that we're doing, period. But at the end of the day, we're just beyond grateful and lucky that we're getting to do this. Just wake up every morning, getting to do what we
Yeah.
love doing instead of I mean, sometimes you do have to do that one job that nobody's gonna like, but still, it's like, you know, it's
Said Livy.
experience. Yeah,
It is. Yeah, I'm just
yeah,
grateful. Just anything I can do to serve God. Just gonna
yeah.
put him first, man.
So
I'm
what is some?
excited.
Yeah, but besides that, since you'll be at a convention next month, you said?
Oh yeah, November, oh gosh, 15th through 17th, it's Design Con. If
Wow.
anyone's in Vegas and you want to see me, I'll be there.
Yeah,
Yay! I'll post about that soon.
yeah.
I'm
So
so excited.
you got your first exclusive promo here. But other than that, what is something else that you wanted to discuss or talk about? Uh, that we haven't already discussed here today.
Oh man. You know what? I do want to mention that the guy Christopher Martins who did the music for Punked Pooch, he is actually going to do music for Glory Hill. So that's really exciting. I forgot to mention that earlier. And that was like something that one of my friends like got me in touch with on that. So that was very cool. Shout out to him. And I've never actually had that either. See, this is what I'm talking about. I got like stuff happening thanks to the Lord. I never had anyone do music for me because that is the one area of creativity that I do not have, like at all. Like I can't even fathom how people make music. So yeah, that's gonna be cool. That's super exciting, man. Hey, I'll see if he
Nice.
can do anything for Heaven's Defenders if he wants. That would be really cool. Just have gospel sounding music in the background.
Hey.
Yeah.
So where can everyone check out your stuff? Like social?
Yeah, so I'm the most active on Instagram. I do have like a link tree that I can link for everybody. But yeah, Instagram, Twitter/X, unfortunately, but yeah. And then I have separate Instagrams for like everything else, like for Heaven's Defenders and stuff. And then also Patreon if you want to see stuff that I will post early before anyone else sees it. That kind of cool stuff. And then I might start doing stickers too. So one of my Patreon tiers might have a sticker section if you guys want to get cool stuff like that. But yeah, pretty much.
Any
And
final
then YouTube
thoughts?
also. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, she's just linking all your stuff. But any final thoughts, any last words or wisdom that you want to bestow? Just, or or actually, what's the scripture that you kind of wanted to close this out with? Or
Oh, yeah.
just any
So
final things?
absolutely. So always John 3:16. God loved you. He sent Jesus.
Yeah.
But my favorite one is Romans 8:28 for everything, is used for sorry, I'm having trouble remembering it now. 'Cause I'm on the spot. But yeah, it's like everything is used for the good of those who serve the Lord. Emphasis on those who serve the Lord. So it's like no matter what happens, just know that God is using every single thing. And for anyone who's not saved, I just say, think about it. Your debts are and your sins, and the wages of sin are death. And Jesus paid for you out of graciousness. He saved you from hell that we all deserve. So just think about it. Ask the Lord into your heart. It is worth it, trust me, to die to yourself and live for God because you either die to yourself and live for God or you will die by yourself. And that is scary. Think about it. But yeah, God is the number one. Jesus is the number one most important. Serving him is the number one most important. And so just think of that everything is being filtered through the Lord. If you're scared about the industry and animation, just remember God sees it and he sees you and he is going to take care of you and you're going to be okay. And God loves you and Jesus loves you. Yay. Okay, I'm done.
No, no, no. That was just beautiful, man.
I try.
That's perfect. But I just want to thank you so much for, spending the day with me and just this was a really nice, lovely afternoon, and
Oh, great.
I
Thank
don't
you for
really have
having
anything
me. I
to,
appreciate it.
yeah, anytime. So until next time, we'll probably just do some more discussions on animation or just our walks with Christ and whatever happens in the foreseeable future.
Yay. But yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And thank you.
Take it away.
Hey everybody, I'm Melodie Stingley, aka Mellieebee, and I'm an animator, screenwriter, and character designer, and I'm currently working on two projects, Glory Hill and Heaven's Defenders, and I've done animation for other projects as well, and I am here with my friend Robert Jackson, and this is Station Square. Wait, that's it, right? I
Yep,
forgot
that's
the
it.
name.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
I mean, we could just do another one just in case.
Okay, yeah, no worries. I'm so nervous. I need to be better at this.
It's all
Alrighty.
good.
Alrighty. Hey everyone, my name is Melodie Stingley, aka Mellieebee, and I am an animator, screenwriter, and character designer. I am creating two projects, Glory Hill and Heaven's Defenders, and I'm here with my friend Robert Jackson for Station Square. Yay! Okay,
Woo,
hope
we
that
did
was good.
it. Alrighty,
Oh,
well.
yay, I'm so nervous. But yeah,
Nah, it's all good.
Thank you, friend, for being
Thank
patient with
you.
me and stuff.
Yep, anytime. And yeah, take care, everybody. Bye.